The man had just checked into the motel when he discovered a stunning blonde beauty living right next door. Her voluptuous figure and exquisite looks hooked him at first glance. Sleep was now out of the question. To relieve his restless mood, he headed out into the bustling night streets. To suppress the primal urge rising within him, a drink was clearly necessary. But the moment he walked into a bar, he saw that the blonde beauty was actually a waitress there. It truly seems that fate is a mysterious and unpredictable thing. Jack was absolutely thrilled to see her there. Although he hadn't had a single drop of alcohol to drink yet, her stunning beauty alone was enough to completely intoxicate him, and seeing her slightly clumsy demeanor only stirred Jack's desires even more. But for the sake of propriety, Jack didn't hit on her, especially since he had to guide a client hunting the next day. He reluctantly returned to the motel to prep his guns, but just then, a woman's scream suddenly rang out from outside. Realizing something was wrong, Jack tucked a pistol into his waistband and went to investigate. It turned out a drunkard was harassing the beauty next door, but seeing the truth strapped to Jack's waist, the guy sobered up instantly. Terrified, he scrambled into his car and fled. One might expect things to progress further, but since Jack had to guide a hunt the next day, excessive physical exertion was clearly unwise, so he turned around and went back to his room to sleep. This left Anna completely speechless. The next day, Jack asked the broker when his client would arrive. Unexpectedly, right at that moment, the blonde beauty from next door walked in. Jack never imagined that the client hiring him for the hunt would be the beauty herself. Only then did Anna reveal her true reason for going up the mountain. It turned out her father had been an avid hunter. Now that he had passed, she was fulfilling his dying wish to have his ashes buried on the mountain. Seeing Anna's devotion, Jack immediately decided he would find the perfect resting place for her father. But as it was getting late, continuing up the mountain wasn't a smart move, so they decided to set up camp. And it was precisely because of this that Jack got the chance to get to know her better. He never expected that Anna would actually share his specific love for grilled sausages. After they finished speaking, Anna shyly ran into the tent, deliberately leaving the flap open for Jack just before she went inside. Any fool could clearly see exactly what Anna wanted, but Jack was so incredibly dense that he didn't catch on at all, simply thinking she just wanted some fresh air. Anna was left completely speechless by this, but she knew she couldn't forget her main mission. At daybreak the next morning, they headed straight for the peak. Jack soon spotted several large footprints on the ground, realizing the mountain was full of dangerous wild beasts. Concerned for Anna's safety, Jack suggested that she should wait right there, and he would signal her to climb up if there was no danger. But when Jack finally made it to the top and took out his binoculars to look for a prime location, he was suddenly shocked by a strange scene not far away. He saw a figure that appeared to be hanging from a tree branch up ahead. For safety reasons, Jack raised his hunting rifle and slowly approached to investigate. Once up close, he realized the person was already stone cold dead, clearly a victim of a tragic plane crash. As Jack stood there completely stunned, a metal case lying on the ground caught his eye. Driven by his intense curiosity, Jack slowly opened the heavy iron case, revealing it was jam-packed with stacks of cash, likely worth a massive fortune. Just as Jack thought he had finally struck it rich, he was unaware that a fatal danger was quietly closing in on him from behind. Hunting on the mountain, he found a body at the peak and a box stuffed with cash. Jack was instantly ecstatic. He never expected a simple hunting trip with a client would lead to finding a fortune. Without hesitation, he shoved the metal box into his pack and headed down to meet his female client. But when Jack finally reached the bottom, he didn't dare tell Anna about the money, afraid it would bring trouble. But Anna was simply too beautiful. In the dead of night, Jack told her he was actually a wealthy heir. He explained that he only became a hunter because he wanted to experience a different life. With that ill-gotten wealth, Jack felt much more confident. He confessed his love to Anna right there. If she agreed, they could marry once they left the mountain. Though Anna shyly walked away, the next day, she came to Jack dressed in very little, complaining of the cold. Jack immediately told her to go put some pants on. After all, with a fortune in hand, he could get any woman he wanted now. But unbeknownst to him, mercenaries searching for the cash had them in their sights, surrounding the pair. Before Jack could even react, a hail of bullets suddenly rained down on them. Luckily, Jack was a retired Special Forces soldier. Facing the ambush, he took cover instantly, neutralized the threat ahead, and then grabbed Anna to make a desperate escape. He easily took out 2 more soldiers. Seeing how skilled Jack was, Anna couldn't help but admire him. Only then did Jack finally reveal the truth about the fortune he had found. He asked for her cooperation, promising her half the money if they survived. But Anna said she didn't want the cash. She just wanted to know what it felt like to kill. Hearing 2 motorcycles approaching, they immediately set their plan in motion. Anna hid in the shadows, ready to fire, while Jack used the backpack as bait to lure the soldiers closer for an easy shot. Soon enough, the 2 soldiers on motorcycles appeared, having finally caught up to where they were waiting. In an instant, both soldiers were taken down, but before they could celebrate, a soldier in a ghillie suit charged out from right behind Anna. A soldier suddenly grabs the beauty tightly by the neck, and no matter how hard she struggles, it is in vain. He demands that Jack hand over the millions found on the mountain. Seeing Anna held hostage like that, Jack has no choice but to raise his hands in compliance. Then, the moment the enemy drops his guard, Jack instantly shoots him down. It turns out Jack is no pushover. He is actually a highly skilled retired Special Forces ace. Realizing these mercenaries are only after the cash, they decide to hide it first, because fleeing while carrying the heavy loot is simply too difficult. Jack climbs up a large dead tree and uses a rope to hoist the iron cash box inside the hollow trunk. It is perfectly hidden from the outside. They plan to come back and retrieve it once all the mercenaries have been dealt with. As expected, the plan works perfectly. They soon manage to escape to a nearby highway. Just then, a car happens to pass by. Upon hearing that the stranded pair needs a ride all the way to town, the enthusiastic driver waves them in. However, as the 2 of them head toward the back seats, the driver quietly pulls out a heavy wrench and without a word, knocks Jack out cold. It turns out the driver had already been bought off by the mercenaries. When Jack finally wakes up, he finds himself hung up in a warehouse being interrogated about the money's location. But the driver never expected this. Jack was the army's top lockpicking expert. In a split second, the driver is sent to his grave. Jack quickly unties Anna so they can escape, but the mercenaries refuse to let them go and give chase. Fighting for survival, Jack gets into a brawl with a soldier, while Anna refuses to show weakness, taking on the boss directly. In a critical moment, Anna unleashes her full fury and scores a double kill. With all the threats finally gone, the money is officially theirs. They thought that retrieving the hidden cash would set them up for life. However, once the money is in hand, greed corrupts the heart. The next second, Anna pulls a gun from her bag and shoots Jack dead. In the end, she becomes the sole winner. As they say, nothing is deadlier than a woman's heart, and that is the end of the movie.